Carcassonne, the immensely prolific, eminently strategic, imminently classic tile placing game from the bygone year of 2000. This game is so ubiquitous to Eurogaming that it hardly needs an introduction. Here are the stats. Let's get into it. You get a scoreboard labeled 0 through 49. 40 wooden meeples divided evenly into 5 colors: black, blue, green, red, and yellow. That's 8 each for the less mathematically inclined viewers. 84 landscape tiles featuring roads, cities, monasteries, fields, and other expansion things we won't get into right now. The standard set also comes with 2 mini expansions, the River and the Abbot, but we won't get into those quite yet. Whomsoever has the most points at game's end shall be declared the winner of Carcassonne. First, setup. Find the start tile. Place it face up in the center of the table, where every player can reach it, but with enough room on every side for the ever-expanding landscape. Shuffle the remaining tiles together, face down. How you shuffle tiles is up to you. There's card style, poker chip style.
I did not expect this to be so hard when I wrote this in the script.
Box lid Jocelyn? Just get them mixed up. Form them into 1 or more face-down stacks within reach of every player. Place the scoreboard to the side, close enough to one player for them to keep score, and with an eye shot of anyone who doesn't totally trust that player. Then, all players must choose a color to play. Each player receives 8 meeples of the color they chose, 1 to be placed on the 0 space of the scoreboard, and 7 for their meeple supply. They'll keep the meeple supply in front of them on the play surface, which can be any relatively large and fairly flat surface.
No, I'm playing game. Stop! No!
Determine the first player randomly. Now, the game begins proper. Each turn has 3 steps, starting with the first player. Step 1. You must take a single tile from the top of any one tile stack. You must then place the tile into the landscape, so that a feature on the new tile connects to a feature on every tile it's now touching. Step 2. You may place 1 and only 1 meeple on any one feature on the tile you just placed, as long as there isn't already a meeple on that feature. If you place the meeple on a field, you must place the meeple laying down. Step the 3rd. If the tile you just placed completes 1 or more features, the players that have meeples on those completed features score points. Their meeples are taken off the landscape and put back into their respective meeple supplies. First player's done. Player to their left goes through those 3 steps. Then the player to their left, on and on, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Carcassonne shall conclude at the end of the turn wherein the final tile was placed. Final scoring shall be performed, and a victor shall be crowned.
Now, you know the basics, so let's get into the full rules. Each feature is unique, so we'll go one by one. When you place a road, if there are no meeples on that road, you may place one of your own meeples on that road to make it a highwayman. When a tile is placed that completes the road that highwayman is on, you take the highwayman off, that player gets 1 point for each tile the road appears on. When you place a city, it works pretty much the same. 1 meeple per. Now they're knights. When the city's complete, you take the knight off and its player gets 2 points per tile, plus an extra 2 for each coat of arms in that city. Monasteries are a little different. When you put a monastery tile down, you can put a meeple on it to make it a monk. To score a monk, that monastery needs to have a tile placed adjacent to it on all 4 sides and 4 corners. Once the 8th tile is placed, the player gets their monk back in their supply and 9 points. The weird one is fields. They're on every tile, and you can place a meeple on them at any point to turn them into a farmer, given that there is no farmer on that field already. Just like in the real world, farmers are always stuck in their field until the end. Their farm is all of the field contained within the roads and cities that have been placed. Once the turn wherein the final tile was placed is complete, the game is over, and final scoring begins. Incomplete roads are worth the same as complete ones, 1 point per tile. Incomplete cities are worth half points, 1 point per tile and 1 point per coat of arms. Incomplete monasteries are worth 1 point for the monastery tile and 1 point per adjacent tile. Finally, farmers. You get 3 points for every complete city that touches their field. Add everything up. Whomsoever has the highest score wins. If there's a tie, you both win, I guess. Maybe you both lose. or you have to fight now? There's no official tiebreaker stated in the rules. Carcassonne is pretty straightforward, but there is one fiddly rule. When placing a meeple, you can never place a meeple on a feature that already has a meeple. However, it is totally okay for a player to place a tile that now connects a feature in a way that it now contains multiple meeples. If this happens, the player with the most meeples on that feature is the only one who gets points for the feature when it's completed. If there's a tie, the tied players all get full points for the feature. No other players get any points. In the last couple decades, Carcassonne has gotten somewhere in the realm of 1 billion expansions, spanning every possible permutation of the game. 2 of the mini expansions, the River and the Abbot, are included in the standard set, so let's get into those. This is a setup variant, so you can leave the standard start tile in the box where it belongs. And instead, take out the river tiles and pull out the source and lake tiles. Put the source tile in the center of the table, like you would the start tile. Then, shuffle the remaining river tiles into a face-down stack. Slip the lake tile face down at the bottom of the stack. Now, take your turns normally, with the exception that you have to go through all of the river tiles before you start drawing from the standard tiles. These tiles must be placed so that the river features connect, and can't be placed in a way that has the river turning the same way on 2 tiles consecutively. You may place a meeple on any of the features on the river tile you place, as normal. This one opens up a new feature on the tiles, the gardens, and gives everyone a new piece, the titular abbot. Make sure to hand out the corresponding abbot meeples with the standard meeples when setting up. The abbot can be placed on a monastery, in which case it acts like a typical meeple, or it can be placed on its own unique feature, the garden, which is scored the same as a monastery. Also, unlike the standard meeples, on your turn you may, instead of placing a meeple, remove the abbot from the landscape and immediately score 1 point for the tile it was on and all adjacent tiles, just like the endgame scoring. So that's Carcassonne. That should cover everything, but if you still have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you like this, please take the time to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks for watching, everybody.